United Arab Emirates for the International Government Communication Forum, which gets underway in Sharjah today. Now, Sharjah is the second most populous city in the UAE after Dubai, and it is playing host to this event, which was launched in 2012. And it focuses on and assesses how governments communicate matters of national interest to its citizens. Let's cross over now to Leanne for more on this. Well, Leanne, good morning. And seemingly it's all going swimmingly there in Sharjah.
Yes, hi Sakina, a very, very good morning to you from Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates. What a pleasure it is to be here. So for people that have never heard of Sharjah, it's about 30 kilometers outside of Dubai. Of course, Dubai being a lot more popular and well known out of these 7 emirates. So this is one of the 7 emirates. Another emirate you'll be very, very familiar with, of course, is Abu Dhabi. But the other emirates becoming more and more popular, one would say. And I think that this one here in Sharjah, where we're broadcasting from, is home to where we're broadcasting from. Now, this particular broadcast is aimed at communications. It's the Intergovernmental Communication Forum. That's what it's called, and it's been going since, as you mentioned, the last 8 years. And this one particularly focusing in on, I'll read the theme to you, behavioral change towards human development. It hasn't started as yet. It should be starting in a couple of minutes' time. And His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi is meant to be opening this particular forum this year. Now, he, of course, is the Supreme Council member and the ruler of Sharjah. And interestingly enough, the whole idea behind this is how governments communicate with its people. Not only governments, but how education systems communicate with people, how we are learning new communication methods. The world is changing. The world has become a technological place. And are we still communicating to people the way we used to all those years ago? And the answer is yes. But how do we change it? How do we change behaviors? So that's a very basic summary of what to expect here over the next 2 days. But I am now going to chat to my guest, who is going to give us a much better perspective and a little bit more information about this event and also previous events that were held in honor of this particular forum and gathering of heads of states as well that will be here. So talking to us about Amna Salah, she of course is a news editor. She works with the Sharjah Government Media Bureau. Wonderful to have you, Amna. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've given our viewers back in South Africa a little bit of an idea as to the theme, but I think you can explain it a lot better. Behavioral change towards human development. Talk to us a bit more. Give us some more meat on what it's about.
So, International Government Communication Forum this year focuses on behavioral change and education. It focuses mainly on the youth and also the entire society, but because change starts from the youth. And so Sharjah decided this year to focus on human behavior and how can we implement a healthier, positive lifestyle in our lives through different kinds of inspiring speeches and sessions. And this year we have 70 speakers and 34 inspiring speeches and sessions and a lot of activities and platforms that we hope that inspire people for a better change in their behavior and their mindset of.
Why has Sharjah embarked on this? I mean, what is the idea behind this particular Emirates taking on something like this, talking about communication, talking about how they interact with the people, education, all of that?
Because to have a healthy relationship with the government, you need to have a very clear and very specific relationship between the government and the policymakers and also with the people. So you have to make people involved in whatever the country is doing. At the same time, you have to give them an easy access to the policymakers and to the leaders of the country itself, so that we feel connected and we feel part of the society itself.
So much is changing, and I mean, you kind of look around here, and I mean, I don't know if I'm going to ask Tabiso if he can, for some reason. Are you able to zoom into that robot that's kind of making all the noise at the moment? Just over there, behind us, there's this massive robot that's been walking around and singing and dancing and doing everything. So, I mean, it's not only about how governments communicate, it's also about this changing world we find ourselves in, because people don't interact with one another the way they used to.
We are living in the digital age right now. We gave away the traditional ways of communicating, and now we use social media, technology, and all the technological platforms. So it is an easier way to communicate with the government than using the traditional way. And that's the purpose of IGCF, to make the communication between the government and the people easier and faster, so we can have a better society where we can feel involved with everything that's happening.
Is it predominantly about the way government communicates, i.e. the forms of technology that they use, or is it also about the messaging that they send out to people? Because sometimes governments get it very, very wrong.
No, mainly it's about the message. The message that the government send out to the people, it's the main source of everything that's going. So in Sharjah, we make sure that the message is clear and unified. We are talking the same platform and the same unified message, so that the people can be on the same page and they know what's going on. Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do, to unify the media message that we send to the people.
You know, it's quite interesting when you look at the way that the world is communicating these days, and you've mentioned social media. The thing is that once a government opens itself up to social media and is very present on social media, they also have to realize that they're going to be criticized on social media with everybody to see things. Are governments ready for this? I mean, it has backfired a lot on many governments around the world.
Here we didn't face this problem. I didn't notice it in UAE a lot, and also in Sharjah I didn't notice it a lot. But the thing is that the Emirates, or UAE in general, they keep a clear message and they just inform the people of what's going on, so they don't hide, because that's the purpose of government communication, to give the people a clear message of what's going on. And if there's some kind of issue or some kind of a new thing that our leaders want to discuss to us, they can discuss it in social media or tweet it in social media, and they can keep the people on the same page of what's going on. And that's why we don't feel like our leaders or our governments are hiding something from us. We feel that the message is clear and everything is just known. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the content, obviously, in previous years, because I know that last year you had a very, very exciting year with us, talking about the development of technology in the sector. You had brilliant speakers as well. I mean, I know this is yet to begin and we're going to be brilliant ones here as well. But just talk us through the effectiveness of last year's conference.
Last year focused mainly on technology, and we brought the inventor of the internet. We brought Steve Wozniak from Apple, and we brought the inventor of Wikipedia. We brought the Tanmay Bakshi. He was the youngest person who created something related to VR. And so we brought a lot of very impactful and very large, big names, and they brought a lot of attention to the IGCF, and they showed how technology is important. How can technology play a role in bettering the communication between the people and the government? And that's what they did through inspiring speeches and sessions and so many activities. And it was an amazing edition of IGCF, the 7th.
Your highlight for this year, just as we wrap up, who are you looking forward to? Some of the speakers, some of the content that will be covered here.
I'm looking there's a session by Nama, and it will be hosted by Sheikha Jawahar Al-Qasimi. So it will talk about women and empowering women and the role of women. And of course in Sharjah, His Highness created a very healthy and very opening and very welcoming environment for women to participate and be a part of community. So this is the session I'm looking for.
Excellent. Good luck. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for talking to us. Great chatting here, just getting a little bit of ideas of what we can expect going forward today. And talking to us here was Amna Salah. She's a news editor for the Sharjah Government Media Bureau. And that's just a taste of what to expect. In the next crossing, Sakina, this should be an interesting one. We're actually going to be tackling the issue of fake news, how to control it, how to stop its spread. And we do know that it has become exceptionally difficult to control fake news. I mean, you just saw what happened in New Zealand, and that's not fake news, but that was also the spreading of visuals and things that are unsavory when it comes to the content that we are on a daily basis having to digest, whether we like it or not. It jumps up on our feed, and that's what we're subjected to. How do you control that? Is it possible to control? So these are just some of the things. We're also hoping to get as one of our guests Barack Obama's media advisor during his campaign. Remember his presidential campaign, how successful and powerful it was when he took to social media and how he communicated to his voters? Well, that's who we're going to be speaking to as well. Looking forward to that and much, much more as we come to you live from Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates. Let's go back to South Africa.
Well, thank you, Leanne, and certainly looking forward to that in our next crossing, which will be sometime after 8:30.